ready to go. Okay, roll tape to record, please. Stand by, camera one. Are your opening graphics ready? Put them on the line just for a second. Okay, that's good. Go to black, please.
Rolling and recording.
Okay, ready music. Ready to bring up talent's mic. Don't move, camera one. We're just about ready to go on the air. Hold one. Ready graphics. Go music. Fade to camera one. Ready graphics and talent's mic. Fade music under. Take graphics. Cue talent.
Indianapolis Cablevision presents
Change graphics. Cue talent.
Marion County Football Game of the Week. This week's coverage is being brought to you by Marathon and your local Marathon dealers and distributors. Marathon, best in the long run.
Change graphics. Cue talent.
This week's game is between Lawrence Central Bears and the Lawrence North Wildcats.
Good evening, this is Jim Shepard, and tonight a big ball game between the two Lawrence schools, Lawrence North against Lawrence Central. With me is the head coach of Lawrence Central, Bob Ashworth. Bob, a game tonight between two teams, kind of a survival game. You're both 0-2. What's going to be the key to the game this evening?
Well, Jim, I think there are two keys. One, for us defensively, we have to do a great job on Lawrence North's passing game. Threw the ball 47 times last week against Perry Meridian, and they were very effective doing it, and we've got to do some things defensively to give them some different looks, to take some of that passing game away from them. And then secondly, I think for us, offensively, we've got to be able to throw the ball effectively with play-action passes, and then number two for us offensively is to get out.
Central High School, it's our Marion County Game of the Week. Good evening, I'm Jim Shepard along with Pete Bell, and a big ball game tonight between two teams that are struggling for a victory. The Wildcats of Lawrence North, coached by Doug Reeser, against the Bears of Lawrence Central, coached by Bob Ashworth. Pete Bell, it's a survival game tonight. It's not only a conference ball game, a cluster ball game, but one of these two teams will leave here this evening with an 0-3 record, and so it's just a battle of survival here tonight, and it should be a very interesting ball game.
Well, certainly should, Jim. We're looking at two teams that almost are exact opposites. One team has scored a lot of points, but has also given up a lot of points, not real strong defensively, that being the Wildcats of Lawrence North. Lawrence Central, on the other hand, has held their opponents to very few points. I think 10 points in 2 games. Still sporting a 0-2 record. The potential for Lawrence Central exploding is there. We know about Lawrence North's offense, so it really should be an interesting confrontation.
Lawrence North going into the ball game tonight, as we said, is 0-2. They lost in their opener 34-19 to Cathedral last week in a game we covered here on Community Channel 3. Doug Reeser's ball club lost to Perry Meridian in overtime 31-24. As Pete Bell indicated, Lawrence Central has had their problems offensively this year. They have only scored 1 touchdown in their first 2 ball games, and that was by right split end Dave Huggins. That came in the first game of the year when Lawrence Central lost to Center Grove 20-6, and of course last week they got beat by a field goal 3-0 against Southport. One of the key aspects of our ball game tonight will be injuries. For Lawrence Central, their senior fullback and the team's leading rusher, Tony Williams, is suffering from a sprained ankle. There's a picture of Tony right there, but we have received word that Tony Williams perhaps will see some action here this evening, but we'll just have to wait and see on that account. On the other side of the fence for Lawrence North, of course, a big loss last week. Willie Davis is out with a broken tibia bone. That's at the base of the ankle. He was injured early in last Friday's game against Perry Meridian. He'll also miss next week's game against Greenfield Central, and perhaps he will miss part of the Southport game September the 21st. Right now, Willie Davis, there's a picture of Willie on your screen, is in a rehabilitation program, and he is hoping to be back at full strength for the Warren Central game September the 28th, and that game will be at Lawrence North High School. Right now, let's set up the starting offensive lineups for each ball club, and we'll begin with the visiting team from Lawrence North. The interior line at left tackle, number 77, Tom Brady. The left guard is 66, Jeff Peterson, one of the tri-captains. At center is number 61, Jeff Burhan. The right guard is number 50, Dan Klein. And getting the starting nod at right tackle tonight for Lawrence Clark, the tailback is Chris Johnson, number 24. And the fullback will be Brian Callahan, number 20. And onto the field right now are the Bears from Lawrence Central. There's a shot of them as they come onto the field here. This is a big ball game, the third game in the series between these two teams. In the first game between the two schools back in 1982, that game was won by Central 17-12, and last year they had another tight ball game, and North won that one in a double overtime, 21-18. Pete Bell, one of the keys of the game tonight will be obviously the North High School. Right now, let's set up the starting offensive lineups for each ball club, and we'll begin with the visiting team from Lawrence North.
Midwestern Marching Band Festival champion trophy will go to Our next great competitor hails from Indianapolis. Stephen A. Muir, the director. Assisted by Tom Woodward. With drum majors Andrea Coons, Melody Plett, and Ed Richardson, let's greet the spirit of Central from Lawrence Central High School. Band, you may take that field for competition. The Spirit of Central, Lawrence Central High School, Indianapolis.
Guard, center, and right guard offensively, clearing the way for Clark. 1st and 10 for Central.
Blocks.
Johnson on the call. He gets shoved out at about the 12-yard line. Chris Johnson